Hello everyone. Let's see a question of Leetcode called check if n and its double exist in Swift. Given the question, given an array of integers, check if there exist two indices I and j such that I is not equal to j. That means both are existing in the array. I is greater than equal to 0, j is less than array dot length. Means both the indices will lie within the array, and array of I is equals to double of array of j. That means array of I is double than the element j. Let's move to the examples. So very first example is 10, 2, 5 and 3. In this array, if you see which element is double of which element. So 10 is double of 5. But if you see for 2, 2 into 2, we don't have anything. Same for 3 into 3, 3 into 2 as well. Since 10 is double of 5, we simply return true. If we cannot find any double element of each other, then we go for false. In here, if you see, 3 does not have any double, so 1, 7 and 11. Now let's talk about the solution. If we talk about an optimized solution, it will be like we create a set in Swift and we iterate through the array. For each element, we check if the double is existing, we store in the set. If the double is existing, we return directly. If it does not exist, we store in the set. When we iterate to the next element, for the next element, what we do is we check if it is already existing in the set, then we return true from there. If it does not, then we again store in the set. So that is the very first thing we do for solving this problem. Next, here if you see, here it states in the solution we check for num by 2 as well as num into 2 already, in whether it is already existing in the product set. So we understand why num into 2, because it's a product of 2 into num. But why num by 2, that we will understand with an example. For example, in the above example, we saw the product of 2 and number existing before 5. Now let's see opposite way. Suppose 5 is at the beginning, then 6, then 10, then 1. Then what happens if we go with the product solution? So 5 into 2, which will be 10. In set, what we are storing? We are storing the elements. So we store 5, then 6, and we check for 10. 10 into 2 does not exist, we add. But we check for 1 into 2, it does not exist, we add in the set. But logically, if you see, 10 is the product of 5 and 2. So 10 is double of 5. In that scenario, what we do? We check 10 divided by 2 exists? Yes, it does exist. So we return true. So in our condition, it is not only going to be 10 into 2, it is also going to be 10 into 10 divided by 2. Now, for 10 divided by 2, we also know double of any number is always an even number. So what we do? We always have to check if the number is even, then only go for divide. Why we do that? For example, instead of 1, if we have 7 as the number, if you do 7 divided by 2, which will come to 3 in our programming. So it's supposed to be 3.5, but we are dealing with only double numbers. So does it even make sense to have 3.5? No, right? So even though if 3 is existing in our product set, it is going to be wrong. So we always check if 7 is an even number. Is even? No, it is not an even number. So we skip that. We always check for the even numbers when we are going to apply the logic of divide. So let's talk about the complexity over here. Since we are using a set, of length, array.len, then it is going to be, sorry, space complexity is here, which is going to be order of n. And same, we are going to iterate n times, like only the length of the array, so time complexity is also going to be order of n. Let's move to the solution in the Leetcode. Data var for the product, which is my set, iterating through the array. First if condition, so if num modulo 2 equal to 0, which is my if condition, then we check for the AND condition. The product contains num divided by 2. Now my last condition is if the product contains num into 2. If it is true, return true, otherwise add the item, return false. It is accepted. Let's submit it. So runtime is 100%, and so here we close this video. Let's see you in the next one. Thank you everyone.